63% of Americans indicate that free speech is extremely important to them moving into this election, and that is bad, bad news for Kamala Harris. But first, welcome to the FOFO Friday here on the Clay Edwards Show, live on YouTube, or not live, watching this on YouTube, Facebook, and of course X and Rumble. We're getting ready. I'm heading down as you watch this video. I'm on my way to Fort Mississippi to do the Clay Edwards Show with my good buddy Mr. Sean Yurt-Karan on a FOFO Friday. It's a free-for-all Friday. It's a free speech Friday. As I'm wearing the hoodie here. You can go grab yours over at my website, buyfafo.com. That's buyfafo.com. Real quick before we jump into this huge article. Jump over there and grab a hoodie. Here's the one I got on. Here is the new Mississippi Blackout Edition tag hoodie that's available. The hoodies actually have the white drawstrings, as you see here, which I think look way better than the black ones, at least up to size 3X have the white drawstrings. Anything above that, they do not have available with the white drawstrings. It's going to be black. I apologize. It is what it is. Not my fault. And, of course, we've got the T-shirts available as well. The OG logo in black, the OG logo in gray, and, of course, the new Blackout Tag Edition in black. And, hey, real quick, if you buy any of that at regular price, you can get one of our pink, Real Men Wear Pink ribbon FOFO shirts for only $15. That's 50% off. Just use the promo code PINK at checkout. All right, man, let's jump back into it again. Buyfafo.com. That's buyfafo.com. Elon Musk shared this today. It says major vibe shift. Results from new survey. Free speech is now ranked the second most important issue for Americans in the upcoming election, more important than healthcare, crime, immigration, and racial and ethnic inequality. God, it feels good to be an American. Thank you to everybody who is apparently sane and understands what's truly, truly important in America. Before we jump into that, I want to go back over this article at outkick.com and read this for you guys real quick, and then we'll really break down this chart before we get our weekend started over here in central Mississippi or wherever you're listening to this around the world and in America. It's titled, Free Speech is now the second most important issue for voters. That's very bad news for Kamala Harris. Free speech is the most fundamental right of every American. That is why free speech is as enshrined as the first of the original 10 constitutional amendments. And for the first time in our lives, that right is actually in jeopardy. And I don't think there's any debating that, any arguing that. The left has proven, if nothing else, they would love to shut down your free speech. I think they would rather take your freedom of speech than they would your guns. And man, that is saying something. Continuing on, it looks like Americans agree. A new poll from the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression found that the free speech is now the second most important issue for Americans in the upcoming election, trailing only inflation and increasing costs. And I would beg to differ. To me, it is the most important above and all any of that, because without free speech, you can't even complain about that. They will throw you in the gulags for complaining about inflation under the Joe Biden and Kamala Harris administrations. Continuing on, Americans, 63% of whom say concerns over free speech are very important to them, rank the issue ahead of healthcare, immigration, crime, and guns, and yes, even more than racial inequality. On Thursday, Elon Musk called the finding a major vibe shift. What do the kids like to say? It's a vibe. It's a vibe. Anyway, scrolling on down. If free speech is actually on the minds of voters, come November 5th, Kamala Harris will not win the election. It's that simple. For all the ills of the Republican Party, and there are many, the evidence is clear. The Democratic Party is the party of censorship, more specifically, government-pressured censorship. Every recent example of government-pressured censorship traces back to the Democratic Party. Why don't we run through a few of them real quick? Here's some of the more egregious cases, according to Outkick.com. Last month, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg admitted that the White House urged Facebook to remove posts about COVID that reflected poorly on the Biden-Harris administration. In 2022, Suck confessed to Joe Rogan that Meta suppressed the accurately reported Hunter Biden laptop story in response to false FBI warnings incoming Russian disinformation. We all know how that worked out. But hey, it's not just Meta. When Elon Musk purchased Twitter, now known as X, in 22, he provided reporters with internal communications that proved the extent to which former executives engaged in politically motivated censorship on behalf of, again, the Biden Harris administration. The revelations, known as the Twitter files, included examples of shadow banning, de-amplification, removing posts, and of course, banning accounts. Raise your hand if you've had a social media account banned at some point. Last November, the House Judiciary Committee filed a 103-page staff internal report detailing on how government agencies pressured tech companies to dictate the information posted on social media prior to the 2020 presidential election. The finding discovered hundreds of reports showing how the Department of Homeland Security, Cybersecurity, and Infrastructure Security Agency, Department of State, and Stanford University assisted in the creation of a secret disinformation group that asked social media companies to censor true information, jokes, and political opinions. Man, the left doesn't do sarcasm anymore, do they? Platforms like Facebook and Twitter acquiesced to no surprise. The pressure campaign disproportionately resulted in the deplatforming of information disfavorable to wait for it, the Democrats. The significance of what's happening here cannot be underestimated. The First Amendment prohibits the government from censoring ordinary Americans. However, the government has found a workaround to the constitutional restrictions by pressuring private tech companies to do the censoring for them. It's tricky, but it's also illegal. By assisting in the government's subversion of the First Amendment, Facebook is acting not as a private company, but as a state actor. And as the Wall Street Journal explains, state actors can, in fact, be sued for aiding and abetting in violations of the Constitution. And the Democrat Party is very complicit. Again, if you're voting Democrat, you are not American. You are not about democracy. You are the threat to democracy. As per Outkick's column, free speech is on the ballot in 24. Voting for Harris laws sends a direct message that Americans are fine with censorship. No American should ever be fine with censorship. I'm old enough to remember the left being the purveyors of free speech, being the ones that fought against censorship. Continuing, free speech is what allows us to access the truth. Without the truth, we are nothing more than ignorant, non-playable characters, people who do not think for themselves, who march to the beat of our dear leaders. Imagine if only facts available were the facts that people in charge made available. That was the case for much of the pandemic when various credible voices were silenced for offering dissenting opinions. And you, my friends, were told that you must not trust the science if you question anything to do with COVID, masks, or vaccines during the pandemic era. Continuing on, thereby there's a valid argument that free speech should be the most important issue for voters. While the economy is crucial to our daily lives, free speech is what separates a free country from an autocracy. November 5th, you get to make the decision on censorship. Amen to that. Let's jump over here and take a look at this chart that we got laid out here. Actually, I already got it right here. Pull it up first. Boom, shakalaka. Here we go. So, I got to pull it up on the other screen here. All right, 63% of Americans indicate free speech is very important. Coming in number one, 68% inflation. Two, 63%, of course, the aforementioned free speech. Number three, at 60%, healthcare. Number four, at 56%, abortion. Way overrated. Coming in at number five, one, two, three, four, five is crime at 56%. Gun policy at 55%, coming in at number six. Coming in at number seven, Supreme Court appointments. Number eight, education. Nine, immigration. I'm surprised that immigration's further down. Number 10, foreign conflicts and terrorism. Number 11, climate change. And coming in dead ass last, right where it belongs, is the woke DEI CRT racial and ethnic inequality. Guys, enjoy the hell out of your weekend, out of your FIFO Friday, your Free Speech Friday. Flip a lefty off, buy you an FAFO shirt or hoodie. It's like the Mississippi MAGA. Look, you guys have a blessed one. Don't take any shit off anybody. Have a great weekend. And you know what to do on November 5th. Get out and absentee vote early if you can, as long as you qualify and you're not doing it illegally. Go absentee vote and beat the lines. You don't have to do it on November 5th. But hey, sometimes it's fun to go stand in line and make new friends at the voting precincts. I've done it before. All right, y'all have a blessed one. Bye, FAFO.com. Be sure to tune in right here this morning and every Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Wherever you're watching this video, we are streaming live. It's the Clay Edwards Show. And we're also on the radio on 103.9 FM, WYAB. And last but not least, men, take advantage of our free testosterone screenings. If you're suffering from fatigue, decreased muscle tone, lack of energy, low libido, brain fog, or sleep disturbances, you could be suffering from low testosterone. Text my name, Clay, to 601 327 8550. Y'all be good. Peace, love, and Afro Grease.